Hey, it's Wednesday, the 20th of April. Thanks for joining me. Markets are a little bit slow. Well, I say slow. Gold had a big move yesterday, but some of the other markets are a little bit quiet. So I'm going to run through some of the reasons why I don't actually want to trade today, which is unusual for me. I usually find quite a few trade ideas, but at the moment I'm a bit confused. Gold, as I've shown you before, has this huge double top pattern, which really is very negative indeed. Look, we've got this high around 2075. I've actually got some fib lines on there from before, and we dipped down to the 38.2% fib and then rallied, and we then topped out at 2069. So that really is, to me, a very, very clear negative double top pattern in the longer term. This is the weekly chart you're looking at now. So it really is a very big pattern, very, very important. But for now, we just seem to be, when you look at the weekly chart, we're up one week, down the next week, trading sideways. This is just a consolidation phase before what I think should be a significant move to the downside. But it doesn't help us when we're day traders and we're looking hour to hour, day to day, maybe even just week to week. I can't do anything with this. I certainly wouldn't have known that the market was going to top this week. I figured that the gains were going to be pretty limited anyway, because of course we have this big negative double top pattern. And look at this weekly candle. I've talked about this before, the big shooting star, or where we've rocketed up. Closed almost unchanged on the week, showing that sellers really did pile into the market. Then we had a big red candle follow the next week, but then we've only traded sideways. So I'm finding this slightly confusing. I don't really know where to get in, where to get out. I'm just going to try to wait. But for me, definitely the bias for gold is to the downside in the longer term. It just doesn't help me much as a day trader. Silver is in even more of a sideways trend. Let me take off some of these fib levels here. You can see that really we are trading in such a big sideways trend for such a long period of time, bearing in mind that this is in fact the weekly chart, of course. Look, we've been trading sideways, I would say, back to July 2020. So we're within this sort of triangle pattern. I'm not sure if that trend line is still relevant. Let me take that one off, draw a new one here. There we go. Something like that is probably where we need to draw it. But you can see, this is again, pretty much up one week, down the next, going nowhere. I wouldn't really know what to do with silver other than trade the trend lines. So day to day, I'm finding this one tough too. Even crude is now entering what I believe is probably a sideways trend. We can't really see it on the weekly chart, but if we look at the daily chart, that very clearly, that does look to me like we are entering a sideways trend. The highs are getting lower and lower, but I'm not necessarily seeing that as a negative trend. I'm seeing this more as a consolidation. And if I put some trend lines on here like this, you can see we've got something of a descending triangle. So I think that this indicates that the daily ranges, or the weekly ranges at least, will become less and less. The highs may continue to be lower and lower. And we'll see if we hold this support level around the 94, 93 area. And then maybe in a few weeks, we'll break out of the range and we'll have some direction, a swing trade to go for. But this is what I fear at the moment, that basically we're going to see further sideways consolidation. We've had such a lot of news out, and maybe the market's just tired now and needs to wait for some fresh impetus. So that's it for gold, silver and crude. I'm going to move on to some other videos and look at some of the forex markets and stock index markets.